if it's okay with you, we could just start off maybe by me asking you some things about how you came to be part, run the BCGA and how you started the organization, because you're the founder. Is that right?
Absolutely. And ironically, I actually started the organization back in May of 2020. So we are actually less than a year old.
Wow.
And I went home to actually first, it's a full circle moment for me. I've been playing video games for the last 35 years. I started playing with the original Atari and Xbox systems, and I was always one of the only girls that played. Where we moved to in high school in Alabama,
Right.
and so fast forward to April of last year, the world stopped like everyone unfortunately with the pandemic. And I was trying to figure out a way with my other company, Insights Marketing, to figure out how to stay true to what I knew for the last 22 years, which is working in the sports industry, working in the multicultural consumer segment, and working with educational institutions like the HBCUs that we work with. And my nephew's 11th birthday came, and my sister asked me to come home to do a drive-through surprise birthday party for him. And when I got home, she was like, he hasn't come outside. He hasn't come out of his room. He's not dressed. He never leaves his room except to get food and go back in to play video games. She was like, and I know you are and have been a video gamer, and he talks to you about it all the time. So I need you to go talk to him because I'm worried he may be talking to some strange men. I hear voices all the time. She's like, when I come in the room, he turns everything off. And so I went in and talked to him, and that was May 14th of last year. And he reintroduced me to the gaming industry in all of its wonder, and helped me to see from an 11-year-old's eyes the opportunities that exist from a professional gaming standpoint, from the ability to get scholarships in eSports and to get a degree at a college or university in eSports and gaming. So as he was showing me his selections for colleges and universities, and he was showing me the professional gamers that he adores and follows, I noticed that nobody looked like either he or I.
Right.
Especially when he showed me the colleges and universities as a proud two-time HBCU, which is a historically Black colleges and universities graduate, and also as and as our entire family is, including his mom and his grandparents. None of the schools he chose to attend were HBCUs. And I said, Jackson, why are there no HBCUs on your list? And he said, Auntie Keshia, I did my research, and there are no HBCUs that offer scholarships or have an esports team or compete in esports. He said, they don't even offer degrees for me to be able to graduate and work in the industry. And he said, I want to do it till I'm old like you. And I said, I'm glad you think I'm old, I think. I was like, I'm not sure if that's a compliment or not. I said, but what I will say, I said, can you show me how you researched the HBCUs? And so he went on the computer, and sure enough, there was one school in Kentucky, which he did not know was an HBCU. And I told him, Jackson, HBCUs are all over the country, and that is a historically Black college university. That was the only school that offered a degree. And he's like, I don't want to go to Kentucky. So I said, well, I'm going to go back to Atlanta and figure out how I can help you. If you want to attend an HBCU, when you're old enough, you can have that option. And I'm also going to figure out ways where if you want to work in the industry and you want to be a professional gamer, that people that look like you will be some of your top choices that you choose to play and be as a professional gamer. And so that was, like I said, May 14th, and I started in BCGA not even 2 weeks later. And unfortunately and ironically, George Floyd was killed.
Right.
And that actually probably put me into what I call seventh gear in terms of saying I need to move faster in making BCGA not only an association, but reality, and start making an impact with not just Black HBCUs, but Black college students and women of color as a women of color. And BCGA is alive and thriving today.
Amazing thing to have done, and during all of this time of trouble is amazing. Keshia, we in the UK, and I know that there are many international viewers, at the conference today, at the Expo today, who don't have experience of this difference, that in the UK we don't have the equivalent of an HBCU. And I wonder if for our audience, you could share a little bit of context for us about those historical organizations and how they've come about and what that means.
Absolutely. And so for historical context, over 200 years ago, historically Black colleges and universities were created to provide Blacks, because we weren't called, or Negroes, we weren't called African Americans then, we weren't even called Black, to provide Negroes an opportunity to get educated in the United States. We were not allowed to attend what we now call predominantly white institutions because they did not consider us to be an entire person. We weren't allowed to vote. We didn't have any rights in the United States. So we created and built our own institutions so that we could be educated and become doctors, lawyers, and all the amazing, professional teachers, educators, degrees that today. And so, one of the first universities, which is Cheney University right in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, was actually established 207 years ago. There are 107 historically Black colleges and institutions, or there were 107 historically Black colleges and universities when we were at our peak. Today, there are 103. 4 of them have closed.
Right.
Of those 103 institutions that are remaining, 97 are what the United States considers to be accredited institutions of learning. And then the others are just working as institutions. And they make up a combination of private institutions and small colleges that were started in the church. And then some are public institutions and run by the states where they live. Some are considered land grant institutions because of the state supporting them and what they offer in terms of degrees and services. Others are science-based. Each school has either arts, education, science, or land grant institutions as our classification.
Right.
And we graduate more Blacks, African Americans in the world out of these 103 institutions than the thousands and thousands of institutions that exist here in the United States. I think 54% of Blacks that receive undergraduate degrees have graduated from a historically Black college and university. So we have a lot of history. We have been through a lot. We survived, the voting rights, the civil rights movement, you name it, wars, and our institutions still remain and stand to this day. And so, there's always been some questions at different times about the value of our institutions. But if it wasn't for our HBCUs, my parents, my grandparents were not fortunate enough to go to an HBCU, but I have friends that have, grandparents that also, and even great grandparents that attended these historically Black colleges and universities. So it's a lot of history in the United States, but we don't take anything away, because I actually attended a predominantly white institution, University of Alabama, while I was in high school and in my freshman year of college. So I had the luxury of being able to attend, institutions from both sides. And I tell people, and for Black Collegiate Gaming Association, we started with HBCUs because they had the greatest need and the greatest opportunity to get awareness and an understanding of the gaming industry and the opportunities that exist. And we know that because we graduate so many great Blacks, to me, it was a natural to go there first to help find the students and individuals that we need to help diversify the industry, because less than 3% of corporate America in the gaming industry is Black. Less than 0.5% are women of color. So there is a need and an opportunity if we start with our historically Black colleges and also our predominantly brown institutions. And we have our first predominantly brown institution member coming up soon, and that's Agnes Scott College. We're crossing our fingers. It's an all women's private school that they will also become a member, and they're predominantly brown. That those institutions need the resources and the support to help graduate their students and get them working in and becoming contributors to the industry. And so that's why and how we exist. And we are all about students, regardless if they're a community college, which is a 2-year institution here in the United States, or if they're attending a predominantly white institution or a predominantly brown institution or an HBCU. We welcome them to be to work with and be a part of what we're doing and what we're making happen and creating history with the Black Collegiate Gaming Association.
This is just an amazing, amazing thing to have started. What an incredible achievement.
Thank you so much.
So, Keshia, maybe you could tell us a little bit more about the opportunities that the BCGA is providing for your students, regardless. So you have this amazingly growing community of institutions that you're collaborating with. And one of the ways that students can access careers in the games industry through that sort of collaboration is scholarships, as you were describing. Could you
Correct.
something about that system of scholarships?
Yes, and we actually have 5 what we call programmatic thrusts for the Black Collegiate Gaming Association. First and foremost, education. So educating our students on the opportunities that exist in the industry, so they understand it's so much bigger than just game development and software engineering. We've identified over 40 different job opportunities that they can go after, achieve, work in the industry. And so creating that awareness and understanding and providing them at the college level with the coursework or training, certificates, webinars to get them prepared to enter into either corporate or become an entrepreneur in the industry. Our second programmatic thrust is around careers, helping them to identify internship and entry-level job opportunities, again, to gain experience and to become contributors in in an industry that they probably were just considered as competitors or players. Our third is the one that you asked about, which is scholarships. We are a 501c3, the Black Collegiate Gaming Association Foundation, and we are going after and securing funding. A very special thanks to Sony PlayStation. They were our first major titanium partner for the organization, and they are providing us with $100,000 in our first year to give out scholarships to some deserving students at our 15 current member institutions. Like I said, we have 15 HBCUs, and we hope to bring on Agnes Scott College as our first predominantly Brown and 16th member school. And so we have, especially at our HBCUs and even our PBIs, a challenge with students being able to have funding after their first 2 years of studies, especially at the undergraduate level. And we, unfortunately, the HBCUs especially have somewhere between a 24 to 46% attrition rate when students don't have funding and they leave school and they're qualified academically, but they don't have the finances to remain in school. Because in a lot of cases, our HBCU students are first generation college students. Yeah. And they come from environments where they don't have the financial support to stay in college, and college, university life is not cheap. Yeah. And so we are providing scholarships to keep them in school, especially those who are at 30 hours or less and need that additional financial assistance to graduate and again become contributors in the industry. Our fourth programmatic thrust is around mentorship. We want to identify and connect them with, we are identifying and connecting with amazing women of color and Blacks that are success stories, whether they're entrepreneurs or corporate industry professionals. So they're able to have someone that they can identify with, can talk to and understand what can help them be a success in the industry, tips as they prepare to interview for those jobs and opportunities. Also for them to be able to help look at their resumes and recommend some ways they can strengthen it, or say you should look at this kind of experience. So that is another one. And then the last one is our gaming and innovation labs, helping our member schools build and create a dedicated innovation lab on their campuses so that students can have a chance not just to play the games, but to analyze and critique the games and understand that you can get into music production or animation, through the games. And if they see the games and have access to them, they get that exposure. It's also a chance for them to play some amazing games that they may not have ever seen before or played before, because of, again, some video games cost money and they're not cheap, but a chance for them to also to build teams at the campus level and compete, to also bring additional funds to the campuses as well as to the students through scholarships.
Yes, amazing work. So that we have got some questions. For instance, Mary Claire is asking what we at Women in Games can do to help and support you.
Oh, excellent question. And thank you so much. We appreciate that. Actually, next weekend, we are producing what I have seen from my research is the first of its kind event. It is called Women Got Game. It is a 2-day summit for women of color, by women of color. It is a day for women of color college students to attend. And please, if you're not a woman of color, you are still invited. We're not going to say, oh, you can't come because you're not you're not of color, or you're not, what we call our brown girls magic. It's open if you would like to attend, because we have allies and supporters. We need you to continue to succeed and thrive, and lift us up in our women's network. But it is next Saturday, March 20th. It starts at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the United States. And it is a day of networking and connecting and hearing from some amazing entrepreneurs and corporate leaders that are women of color about what they've done to be success stories. And it's a chance for the women of color students to engage on actually using this exact same platform. So you get a chance to engage and meet those individuals through some networking mini breakout sessions. We're also giving students a chance to interview for internships and job opportunities with our amazing corporate partners. And then on day 2, we have, it's actually what we call a day of talking and a tournament. And so we'll recap and do some highlights from the first day on the Twitch platform. And then we will have 2 tournaments where the young ladies will have a chance to compete for scholarships and prizes to support their educational aspirations. And so if they go to women.game.org, again, women, and that's WOMENGOTGAME.org, they can register for free on our website, and we would be happy to have them. And they can follow us on Twitch on our BCGA USA page, and you can stream and watch the tournament and the talk live on Sunday, and that will start at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, March 21st. And I think I had sent, and I'm not sure if you're able to display it, but we have the invitations for both of the events. But if not, it's all on our women.game.org website.
So I don't know if you've been able to see, Keshia, but we've just been posting in the chat here. And we're also going to be putting that up in the booth in the Expo area as well. So
awesome.
We'll be
awesome.
Thank everyone you. To that, no problem at all. I think it sounds as though, Women in Games and the BCGA have got an enormous amount in common, and it will be great to work together in the future.
And thank you. I see some of the ladies are signing up, so thank you so much.
That's great.
Thanks, Kimmy and Seema. I appreciate you when I see you.
That's fantastic.
Thanks, Sharon, for posting.
No, it's wonderful. It's wonderful that you've made it. It's wonderful to have you with us. I wonder if anybody has some questions. And Gemma is also saying that we posted the links on the Discord channels. So
fantastic. Thank you so much.
Great. So I don't know whether, Keshia, you've got anything else that you'd like to kind of tell us all about, because obviously the BCGA is very new. It's been started by you as an amazing entrepreneur. And I just wonder if you have other aspects of it that you'd like to share with us.
Oh, absolutely. I can talk for hours about what we're doing, and I'm so excited. So our next major upcoming events, and again, would love for you to attend with us. And you can follow us on all social media platforms, including Discord, at BCGA USA, and that's BCGA USA. But on April 22nd, we're doing the first of its kind virtual eSports and gaming job fair. Again, to give our students of color an opportunity to get in front of some amazing employers for an opportunity to get internship and job opportunities. We have another UK partner, Hitmarker, who has graciously come on board, and they have connected us with Gamer Jive. So we'll be doing an amazing virtual esports event on April 22nd. So if you know individuals who are interested in looking for diversifying their company with some amazing and more than qualified college students and some recent alumni, would love to have you involved. And you can reach out to me on our website, again, at bcgausa.org. On May 3rd, we're going to be doing a celebrity game-a-thon. Our plans are, and we're in the process of recruiting 16 different celebrities, one each to play in Call of Duty, Warzone, and Fortnite in tournaments to raise money for our 16 member schools, again, to help them get their gaming innovation labs stocked with hardware and more importantly, to get wired, so they're able to have the gaming speed capacity that they'll need on their gaming PCs that they're on their campuses. So we're doing a tournament on that evening. It'll be late evening, early morning for you, but it'll be from 8 p.m. until 1 a.m. on May 3rd. And then in the fall, we come back and we'll be doing some events. One is which is called Corners to Colleges. It is actually our first step into paying it forward and doing a mentoring with high school students and helping them to understand that they can use esports and gaming to get off of the streets and off of corners, whether they're, hustling bottled water or goods to raise money and support their families, or doing something that's maybe non-legal, and could possibly get them to a lot of trouble or danger. We want to show them that through esports and gaming, they can, compete at the age of 15 and start earning money to bring back to their homes, and that they can also go to college and get degrees and work in the industry and get paid with the games they probably played recreationally for years. And so we're going to be doing workshops and sessions in different communities, especially the ones where our schools exist, and to help them see that direction and then show them college students that are already doing that and being successful, so they can see what they can be and do and achieve. And then the last two things and then I'll stop. In the fall, we're doing an event which I'm very passionate about. It's called Military Play. It is an event for the active military anywhere in the world or retired military, our veterans. We're going to do a 3-day, God willing, hybrid event in Las Vegas. It'll be 3 days of esports and gaming tournaments. And we found out, and we've talked to a number of veterans at the military in active duty, and found out that when they play video games, it gives them a chance to step away from the stress and a lot of the issues they're dealing with at fighting for their countries. So we're going to do an esports gaming tournament, talk about how they can use that as rehab. And I apologize, my dog is in the background. And then we
the dog is very welcome, very welcome.
And then we are going to have a housing fair, because a lot of our veterans are challenged to find housing once they leave the military, and to provide them resources around housing. There'll also be a job fair. Again, there's always a challenge when they make the transition from the active duty to veteran life or as veterans to find jobs. So we're going to have a job fair with a lot of our partners. And then the last thing and the most important thing is we're going to have some mental health conversations, discussions, and some resources there, because a lot of active and veterans of the military and armed forces deal with PTSD, depression. And so we want to give them a place and a space and show them resources that are free of charge that can help them when they're going through those challenges, and let them know there's people out there that can support them, even with or without playing esports and video games.
The amount of things that you're doing is quite astonishing. It's amazing, and I can't imagine any better, any better end for games to be used for than all of these purposes you're putting them to. They have such social impact and such meaningful kind of, uses in the way that you're employing them.
Thank you.
I wonder if anybody in our audience has a question for Keshia that they'd like to put to her.
What we've identified is that, esports and more importantly, the gaming industry can be a bridge to so many ways to help and support individuals, and can save lives. And what I like about Military Play is it's not just for people of color. It is open to anyone who is served and or is serving in our armed forces anywhere in the world. And we actually did a version of it in November of last year during Veterans Day week, I should say, and just to test it out and to see how it went. And we did it all online. And we had some amazing conversations and dialogue with individuals. And we did 3 days of tournaments only. And from there, that's where we got a lot of the learning, where they needed help around housing and jobs as well. And they needed to have and understand resources to support them with their, with some of the mental challenges that they're facing as well. So that's how we use that learning from that small pilot that we did in Veterans Day in November this past year. And we're using it to expand and make it a full 3 days of both, playing the game, and more importantly, providing them with resources to help them live this game that we play each day.
Amazing. I know at the beginning of the session you did mention the sort of inspirational moment that your nephew gave you when he was playing, and you got back into looking at what games he was playing and talking with him about it and setting him on the road to finding an HBCU. I wonder, Mary Claire is asking though, where do you feel the vision for all of your energy has come from? You know, you're putting all of this amazing content together. Where do you feel your vision has come from?
Yeah, I tell people, I joke a lot and tell people that I am a cougar in this industry. I've been very blessed to be doing this now for 22 years with my other company, Insights. And so I have been very fortunate to have worked with and met a lot of individuals over those 22 years. And prior to that, I spent 9 years in corporate America working at Procter and Gamble, Coca-Cola, and Amoco oil companies. And there I also did a lot in the multicultural space and worked in brand management. So, it's really, and then I have some amazing family members that have served and right now serve our country here in the United States. And, and then also I've been very blessed to travel the entire world. So I've been on every continent with the exception of Antarctica. So I've seen and met a lot of people and understand that we are all the same. We may use different languages and or may speak differently or may come in different hues, but we all have the same things that are important to us, which is wanting to be and get an education, want to work and support ourselves and our families, and we want to love not just ourselves but the people in our circles around us. And that's true no matter where you are, where you live in the world. And so we want to be able to provide that to and give people of all opportunities a chance to have those opportunities. And the fact that because of where you grew up or where you came from or what you look like should not stop or prevent you from doing so. And so that is what drives me each and every day. Again, I cannot tell you how excited I am every day to wake up and to have the chance to tell other people about what we're doing and help us, like I said, to bring students' dreams, hopes to reality.
It's really hard to imagine a more inspiring message, honestly. Mary Claire is saying, "Go Cougar," by the way.
Thank you.
It's genuinely impossible to imagine a more kind of astonishing message. So thank you so much, Keshia,